Good morning. I'm Ryan Sadler, Associate Vice President for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion here at St. Ambrose University. It is my pleasure to welcome each of you to our 9th annual Freeman Pollard Minority Scholarship Fundraiser. As many of you know and understand, this is typically held on campus as a breakfast full of fellowship and inspiring speakers. However, due to current circumstances, we must forego the fellowship as we know, but we do have inspiring speakers on the slate. The person we honor this morning, Dr. Freeman Pollard, was the first African-American professor at St. Ambrose. Dr. Pollard taught in our political science department from 1979 to 1988, serving as both chair of the department and as the first director of our public administration program. While in Davenport, Dr. Pollard served as a commissioner and chair of the Davenport Civil Rights Commission, receiving numerous awards for his academic and community efforts. Soon after Dr. Pollard left St. Ambrose, the university established a minority scholarship program in his honor. That program commemorated his commitment to education and leadership in our community. To date, more than 1,200 students have been recipients of a Freeman Pollard Scholarship, including 410 students this year alone. I find that number remarkable and just one example of the university's commitment to our racial and ethnic minority student population. The St. Ambrose Board of Trustees affirmed the years 2010 to 2020 as the Decade of Diversity, which included a goal to raise $1 million to endow the Freeman Pollard Minority Scholarship. Today's keynote speaker, alumnus and board emeritus Jim Collins of 1969 will share insight on the Decade of Diversity as it has now come to an end. After that, we will hear from our 13th president of St. Ambrose University, Sister Joan Lisinski. Before we hear from those two, let me first introduce you to St. Ambrose Senior Marketing Major Ashley Dean. Once again, thank you for joining us today, and I hope you are moved to support the Freeman Pollard Minority Scholarship.
Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Dean, as it's already been said. I am, again, a senior here at St. Ambrose University, and I am very grateful to be able to say that I am a senior here at St. Ambrose because my education journey has been long. I'm very excited to be graduating, very excited to have had the journey that I've had and been able to receive the assistance through scholarships and grants and the like to get to this place. A lot of my hang-ups and hold-ups and the reason why my journey has been long has been because of the lack of funding and just not knowing how I'll take care of it down the line, but God has been faithful, as I'll sing about here shortly. Thank you so much for your support to this scholarship and many other scholarships that will help young women like me to do what it is that they need to do to get their education. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I hath needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I hath needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Thank you.
Greetings and welcome to all. So honored to address this esteemed event, the annual Freeman Pollard Minority Scholarship Fundraiser. Even more privileged to be delivering it at this pivotal time, the end of an era, the Decade of Diversity, 2010-2020, the beginning of new growth. In 1979, Dr. Freeman W. Pollard joined the faculty of St. Ambrose University, becoming its first African American professor. During his career at St. Ambrose, Dr. Pollard served as chair of the Political Science Department and became the first director of public administration. His areas of academic specialization included American government and politics, public policy, law and administration, and environmental policy. He was counselor and mentor to many students during his tenure at St. Ambrose. Freeman was not only stellar on campus, but also in his community service. He served as chair of the Davenport Civil Rights Commission, held leadership roles in the MetroCom NAACP chapter, and worked as advisor to several community service organizations. For the decade that he was here, St. Ambrose University and the Quad Cities regional area were blessed to have had Freeman sharing with us of his academic and human rights community service betterment. Nothing new. This was all consistent with Dr. Pollard's life well before he came to St. Ambrose. Service was major in his decision to come to this liberal arts, service-oriented institution of higher education. In recognition, Dr. Pollard received numerous honors and awards for both his academic and his community works. In 1988, he retired and returned to his beloved home in Mobile, Alabama. At that time, the university honored him by establishing the Dr. Freeman W. Pollard Minority Student Endowment Scholarship Fund. The intent was to allow for greater opportunity for minority students to participate in high-quality liberal arts education. In 2006, furthering the cause of and the commitment to diversity, the University Board of Trustees formalized a statement on diversity, which said in part, above all, St. Ambrose University, as a Catholic institution, believes in the inherent God-given dignity and worth of every individual. A diversity task force was commissioned by then University President Dr. Edward Rogowski to review all aspects of diversity at St. Ambrose. By 2008, under the presidential leadership of Sister Joan Lashinsky, the University Task Force was recommissioned as the Diversity Work Group, DWG, with the purpose of addressing and putting into action the task force's findings. In brief, in 2009, the work group proposed that the university approve and support the proposed concept of the Decade of Diversity, 2010-2020, that during the period, a broad cross-section of diversity-related issues and programs would be addressed. To increase minority student enrollment, to increase minority faculty and staff, greater inclusion of race, ethnicity, and culture in curriculum areas as appropriate, increase the focus on the issue of diversity, help develop collaborations on these issues on campus and in the community, and these were some of the original items of more than 100 diversity initiatives to be addressed during the decade. The Dr. Freeman Pollard Minority Student Endowed Scholarship was one of the foundational centerpieces for the Decade of Diversity. Upon announcements, Donations begin with the first $1,000 coming from the Alumni Association Board, with a pledge for a like amount each year throughout the decade. Then a core minority alumni group came together and began individual solicitations as a way to give back and to pay it forward to our alma mater and to tomorrow's minority students. Pollard Days were big events for potential minority students and their parents and guardians to learn more about St. Ambrose and diversity, and the opportunity for financial support via the Pollard Fund and other university scholarship offerings. Since 1988, over 1,200 minority students have received Pollard tuition grants totaling more than $3 million. In the fall of 2020, minority student enrollment was 455. Unbelievable to me compared to the handful of minority students when I was a student athlete here in the mid-1960s. As for some of the other major accomplishments during the period, they were, but not limited to, the following: a creation of a multicultural house on campus for the exchange and understanding of racial, ethnic, and cultural differences. The appointment of a person as Director Diversity, and later in the decade, the elevation of the position to one of Associate Vice President, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. A collaboration with the City of Davenport to fund and to place commemorative signs on some 60-plus street intersections recognizing Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. A year-long, and that year was 2013 through 2014, the academic year, Race Matters Forum series of noted national speakers. And the initial kickoff keynote was by the noted Dr. Cornel West. All of the forums were attended by overflow crowds. St. Ambrose's growth in leadership in becoming a Martin Luther King Jr. national celebration in the community, and the growth on campus of the annual Multicultural Week activities, and finally, student and student athletes' community service projects, which included the Urban Plunge, Project Renewal, Youth Mentor Program, and the Thurgood Marshall Learning Center. And that was just a few of the activities that they were involved in. We lost the person, Freeman Pollard, in 2004, but his life and his spirit lives on. He continues in his name and model he made for and with us at the university and in the community. We must recognize that although the decade of diversity has come to an end, it is just the beginning of a new generation of growth in the love we work to show one another as brothers and sisters. As we close out the decade of diversity, I would be remiss not to recognize the awesome leadership team over this period, which included our president, Sister Joan Lashinsky, Provost Dr. Paul Cook, Associate Vice President and Dean of Students, Tim Phillips, Associate Vice President, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Ryan Sadler, and the Diversity Work Group, made up of representatives of faculty and staff, alumni, students, and related contract services like Sodexo. Thank you to our brother Freeman Pollard for your caring and sharing. May we carry on the work that you and others led us in for the betterment of St. Ambrose University, its many constituents, and truly all mankind. Thank you for your support of St. Ambrose University and its diversity efforts, including the Freeman Pollard Fund. Blessings to all.
I am pleased, in my final year at St. Ambrose, to join you in celebrating the powerful impact and legacy of Dr. Freeman Pollard. For more than a century, St. Ambrose faculty, students, and alumni have been resolute in advancing the core value and guiding principle of diversity. We firmly believe in the inherent God-given dignity and worth of every person. The accessibility of a St. Ambrose education and increasing the diversity of our student and employee populations is a top initiative of our strategic plan. The Freeman Pollard Endowed Scholarship for Minority Students is the cornerstone of these efforts. And especially in these times of economic uncertainty for many families, these scholarships are critical to make a student's dream of a higher education come true. In fact, over 98% of our students today qualify for financial aid. Your philanthropy makes a St. Ambrose education and experience possible for any student. The amount you are able to give may vary, but your commitment to supporting this important fund is vital to provide a sustainable base of support that continues the work of Dr. Freeman Pollard. Together, we can shape the education and opportunities St. Ambrose University offers all students today and for generations to come. Join us on their journey and help us make their dreams a reality.